Hello, my name is Nicole Ramirez for those of you who do not know me, and I'm here to share with you of why I became a Beachbody coach. About a year ago this month, I was presented with the chance to not only help myself but to help others. When I heard that I could help others, the first people that came into my mind was my family, particularly my dad. About 7 years ago, he suffered a stroke due to about 38 years of smoking. And when he went into that ICU unit, it was the same day that he also became a non-smoker, which I'm super proud of him for doing. However, one thing that happened to him when he became a non-smoker was a significant weight gain. In the past year, he had gained so much weight that I was beginning to worry as to whether or not he was going to be able to be there on the day of my wedding to walk me down the aisle to the day that I decided to start having children and grow a family of my own. When I was presented with the chance to help others with this, with Beachbody, it took a little bit for my dad to really convince that Shakeology was something that he needed to take with aiding his new lifestyle change of becoming a healthier man. It was about 3 months into my business in December that we tried to make it seem like it was his idea. If you know my dad, he's a little bit stubborn and he likes things to be his idea. So we actually convinced him to think that it was his idea to make sure that it was, Shakeology was something that needed to be in his daily routine. He started Shakeology back in December of last year, which I am so thankful for because it became a habit and a staple in his everyday life of that daily dose of dense nutrition. I'm most thankful for it, of him being on Shakeology and getting into that habit, because at the end of April of this year, our family was struck with another health situation that we had actually never dealt with before in our immediate family. At the end of April, my dad was diagnosed with stage 4 head and neck cancer. And as a family, we didn't know what to do. We didn't know who to turn to. And we were desperate to figure out what we had to do to make sure that Dad was going to get through something like this. We found a facility that had a team that was willing to work together to make sure that his treatment went well, and he had a team of people that was going to be there to support him. And I'm grateful for Beachbody because I was able to go where he decided to go for his treatment and be there every step of the way with him and my mom while he was going through this situation. And the first thing that I wanted to do was to meet with his dietitians and his naturopath to make sure that Shakeology was something that he was able to take during his 37 treatments of radiation and his 4 treatments of chemotherapy. I was about 6 months into my business at this time, and I had heard what 100 doctors have to say about Shakeology, which was absolutely amazing. But what I really cared about was what my dad's doctors had to say about Shakeology, and I was willing to walk away from this business if my dad's doctors weren't able to tell him that he was able to take Shakeology throughout his treatments. When I met with them, went over everything, they actually said that Shakeology would be a great asset to his treatments, because one of the side effects that could happen with these treatments was the radiation with it hitting his neck, the possibility of him losing his taste buds and his sense of appetite because he would lose his sense of taste. Well, needless to say, with those treatments, my dad did lose his taste buds and his sense of taste, and he was beginning to not want to eat any solid foods because he couldn't taste them anyways. Well, Shakeology, the doctor said, actually became his lifesaver because he had lost almost 26 pounds in a week and a half, and they were about to put him onto a feeding tube. And if you know my dad, a feeding tube is not something that he wanted to do, and so he was willing to do whatever it took to not get on that feeding tube. So we started to do what we thought was best for him, and we started to put as much caloric intake as we could for him into his Shakeology. And at some of the treatments, throughout the treatments, some of those days, he was taking up to 3 shakes a day just to get that nutritional value that he needed, along with the calorie intake to make sure that he wasn't getting onto a feeding tube. And it was great to know, and it was a huge confirmation for me, knowing that if my dad wasn't able to do Shakeology, there was no reason I was supposed to be on Shakeology as well as a completely healthy young adult. And needless to say, Shakeology, I would have to say, was his lifesaver because he did not have to get on a feeding tube. And at the end of October, beginning of September, we actually found out that Dad is in remission and in cancer-free for right now. And that just in itself confirms to me that this is something that I'm supposed to be doing, and knowing that my dad does not miss a shake any day of his life anymore because he owes so much to Shakeology for helping him get through his treatments. That is what pushes me every single day to get out of bed and do what it takes to help as many people as possible. You may or may not relate to my story of why I became a Beachbody coach, but if anything you got from this is the passion that we as coaches have for something like this. And when it comes to my family, that is what pushes me every single day, and thankful that I was presented with the chance to not only help myself, but to help others, especially my family. So thank you for listening as to why I became a Beachbody coach, and I hope that this helped you in some way or another, and I thank you for watching, and I hope you have a good day. Thank you. Bye-bye.